Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be going over what I personally think is the best tennis match I've ever watched. Roger Federer v Rafael Nadal at Wimbledon back in 2008 in the final. Many people do say this is the best match they've ever watched in tennis, and I definitely agree. I actually watched it back for the first time in a long time before doing this video, and it's very, very good. Like, very good general game of tennis, the high quality, and you'd have to go very far to find a game that's better on quality than this, especially in tennis. And of course, this game was high stakes anyway. These were the top two in the world at this point, the undisputed top two in the world. Federer had beaten Nadal in the previous two Wimbledon finals, and the previous year prior to this in 2007, Nadal was in tears in the changing room, so disappointed that he threw it away. But I guess that's all part of tennis. It is all ups and downs, like every sport is. So Nadal in this final, well, he certainly bounced back. But, I mean, both interviews before the match, I mean, were quite relaxed, actually, looking back at them. I mean, both men, of course, Federer was used to this occasion. He was won Wimbledon 5 times in a row at this point, so the occasion didn't really seem to be phasing him all that much. But Nadal, of course, after the previous year's heartbreak, you know, he certainly felt like he had a point to prove in this match and near enough put everything into it. And yeah, that was how it went. Both men looked quite relaxed before, but they were no stranger to the big occasion by now, so that's not really much of a surprise. Yeah, I mean, Federer's Wimbledon record coming into this was 44 wins and 4 losses, which is incredible, to be honest with you. Such a good record. And Federer at this point was only 26 years old, which is just amazing stuff, really, to be that good at 26 and to have won, before this, 5 Wimbledon finals in a row. Incredible. 4 weeks before this match in France, of course, Nadal is known as the King of Clay, and that was proven 4 weeks before this final in the French Open final. Nadal absolutely destroyed Federer in just 1 hour and 48 minutes, which in tennis is nothing. That's just over the length of a football match. Incredible. Incredible from Nadal, really, how good he is on clay, but that was certainly might have been going through Federer's mind, but I mean, you know, with Roger Federer, the professional that he is, I seriously doubt he was doing too much harm to him, as his record at Wimbledon was something else to be desired. Federer at this point had spent 231 weeks at number one, which is amazing. To be honest with you, 231 weeks, and he was number one in the world. And no matter what happened in this final, he would have stayed at number one as well. But Federer at Wimbledon before this final won 28 sets in a row, so that just showed his response to being hammered by Nadal in that French Open final. A clinical response, to be honest with you. Amazing stuff. And Federer had only lost 2 matches all year coming into this as well, so, you know, one of them, of course, was the hammer into Nadal, but still, I mean, Federer rarely loses, so when he does, it's certainly a big thing. And yeah, this was, of course, like I said, Federer and Nadal's 3rd consecutive Wimbledon final, so these two at this point were really becoming the undisputed 1 and 2 in the world. And Federer, I believe, had a 5-2 head-to-head over Nadal at Wimbledon as well, so he certainly held the advantage on grass. Nadal's and yeah, the first set was very good. I mean, both men really went at it. It was good tennis. It was kind of, you know, obviously the first set's usually, I won't really say a warm-up in a final, because the first set does mean a lot. It certainly swings momentum to one person. Nadal did claim the first set, and yeah, Nadal was, you know, is excellent from Nadal as well. The first set was, he won it 6-4. It was it was quite back and forth, to be honest with you, but I think Nadal, you know, he really looked like he had a point to prove in this first set. Nadal, after last year, he did win the first set the previous year, but he proper did this set well. Nadal, he played it perfectly, and he got the win. And the first set, like I say, it's not really a warm up. It's not the end of the world if you do lose it necessarily, but Nadal did win. And yeah, the quality of tennis in this match was good, but in this set was good, but it only gets better and better throughout. Really, this was probably not to say the least entertaining. It was still a very, very good set, but yeah, I'd probably say there was definitely better sets to come after this. And in the second set, now this is really where the match did go up another gear, and especially Rafa Nadal, because Roger Federer really took control of this set, to be honest with you. In fact, I believe Federer was, I believe it was 4-1 up. 4-1 up in this set, so really it was looking like it was going to be quite an easy set to win for Federer, but Nadal came back and won it 6-4, so he won 5 sets in a row to go 2 sets up to 0, so that was big, really, the fact Nadal managed to swing the momentum back in his favour. That was a big moment in the match, I thought, really, that because it was looking like Federer was going to cruise to victory here. But yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, yeah, fantastic for him to do that. Nadal's style of tennis in this match, I mean, Federer at times was kind of playing to his strengths, which was a little bit of an issue. Um, Obviously, Rafa Nadal is very good at, most attributes of tennis, but I mean, playing to the strengths was kind of in the first couple of sets what I felt like Federer was doing, really, so that made it a bit easier for Nadal, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, after Nadal did go 2 sets up, he suffered a knee injury, and it was quite an awkward knee injury as well. He changed direction, you just kind of saw his knee buckle underneath him. It was quite a dangerous one, so that was a big shame. And you kind of feared at this point, is this going to interrupt the match? Is it going to, break Nadal's momentum? An injury, we know Nadal had a history of knee injuries after this as well. So you did wonder, but luckily Nadal did manage to get back up after staying down previously. So that was very good. Yeah, and after that, though, of course, this set was still carried on to be very good quality. Nadal's knee injury never really changed much at all of the quality of tennis. And yeah, I mean, Federer actually came from 40 love down to win a game to go 4-3 up as well in this, which was also very impressive. I felt like the match kind of kicked up a gear in this set more than anything. I mean, Nadal obviously 2 up. Federer couldn't afford to lose this set, as the game would have been Nadal's. But yeah, in the end, Federer did come back. But however, it was in the second set. I mean, there was another fascinating fact about this. Actually, no man had won Wimbledon, a Spanish player, since 1966 before this final. So it had been 42 years since anyone had won Wimbledon who was Spanish. So, Nadal certainly had a big thing for Nadal to achieve that as well. And unfortunately, the rain did delay this match actually in the third set for 1 hour and 9 minutes. So, as Nadal, of course, that would have only been bad news for Rafa Nadal, I guess, because he was winning sets 2-0. So yeah, Federer. Obviously, this would have done good for him because he would have had time to rethink in the changing rooms. But because how professional both of these men are, it didn't all do that much bad for them really. But 1 hour and 9 minutes is quite a long delay, so it was certainly a lot of time to think about it in the dressing room. But yeah, I mean, after this, I mean, Federer won the third set 7-6 in the end off a tie break, which was very impressive. And Federer was back in it at this point, so the crowd erupted after Federer won that. I don't think they wanted to see a premature end to this final. I think they wanted to see all 5 sets. So Federer winning on a tie break was big. It was big, ready to keep him in the game. Yeah. So the match at this point had been 3 hours, 24 minutes and 14 seconds as well. So the match certainly did go on a very long time. Of course, you did have the rain break as well, which did interrupt it. Yeah, I mean, this was Nadal and Federer's longest matches at Wimbledon comfortably, as both men had pretty much dominated the tournament to get to the final. And yeah, I mean, Federer had a 65-match winning streak on grass as well. He hadn't lost on grass since 2003, so yeah, that's another very good start. One of many impressive stats that Roger Federer does have. The wind in this match was a bit of an issue at times. It did calm down actually after the rain came, but then it did pick back up again, and you did see the wind playing a part at times, unfortunately, but it wasn't, it wasn't doing a massive difference, but you did see it at times playing a part, which is a bit of a shame because you always like it to be good weather, great conditions for the tennis players to play their best tennis, but luckily never did too much. But the one thing about this match I always found was, it was interesting, was the fact Rafa Nadal seemed to have an answer for everything Roger Federer threw at him, so I've never really seen a player so focused as what Nadal was in this. You could really tell the scars of the previous year were affecting him, so it was quite amazing really for Nadal to come back and actually get the all the points that he got and all the great recoveries that he did. And like I said, the quality of tennis just kept getting better and better throughout. Of course, Federer as well, he was 1 match point away from losing this twice, I believe it was, so really important he did stay in it in the end, Federer. In fact, he was 4-6 loss he was looking at, and he saved it not once but twice, and he did get it back to 6-6, which the fans once again erupted to, because then Nadal blew a 5-2 tie-break lead as well, so it was so important for Federer to get everything right, and he absolutely did. And then Yeah, I mean, Federer actually won the fourth set, 10-8. It was in the end after an incredible rally. I mean, the crowd were going so crazy. The crowd, probably the loudest crowd I've seen at Wimbledon. To be honest with you, it was just brilliant the way they were reacting to this match. Yeah, just everything was just going so well. The high quality of tennis and everything. But yeah, the crowd were certainly playing their part. And Federer then made it 2-2 on sets after winning 10-8, so it was down to a fifth and final set, which everyone wanted to see. Everyone wanted to see both of these men go to 5 sets because it was a match you never really thought was going to end, to be honest with you, because of just how, you know, of just how good the tennis really was and how much these two men were loved in the game at the time as well. Um, I think this could have been the best tiebreak I've ever seen. I can't recall a tiebreak as good as this in the fourth set. It was just back and forth and it was swings and it was just amazing like to watch, and you kind of felt like it was never going to end either. Just brilliant stuff. And Nadal, of course, blowing 2 game points, that certainly would have been playing on his mind after the previous year. So that was certainly a mental thing for Nadal as well, but he did his best to recover in the end. Um, of course, Federer and Nadal had 17 meetings before this, and Nadal won 11-6 on the overall, and he was 3-2 up in Slam finals as well. Of course, meetings on grass, Federer was in the lead, but meetings overall, Nadal was actually winning. So Nadal really felt like Federer's best challenger for many years at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, it's amazing to watch this, and I saw how good the quality of tennis was. Sometimes you just wanted to, when they did miss a shot, these two, they did make a bit of an error, it made you kind of think, oh, they're human as well, because obviously you do forget with these professional tennis players, like, just how good they really are, these two, and how good they were at this point, especially of their careers. When they do make mistakes, it was kind of a shock to the crowd. You could hear the crowd kind of be like, wow, how has that happened? And that really is just how it was in this final. Whenever someone did make a bit of a mistake, which did happen now and then, as it does in every sport, but you kind of saw the crowd just go, oh, wow, that was kind of what it was. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one. I mean, the rain again, of course, did come back to suspend the play. Unfortunately, this time it was only for 25 minutes. But again, the rain playing a part in the final. It was not one but two rain delays, and this was in the final set. So mentally, this would have definitely affected both players because disruption of momentum as well. Luckily, the game was a draw while this was going on, so that was a good thing that no one was in the lead, especially. I guess you can say the rain definitely helped Federer out because Nadal was 2 sets up when the first rainstorm came and they had to go off, and in this one, yeah, of course, now he pulled the sets back to 2-2 as well. So the stadium kind of emptied during this second rainstorm as well, so everyone had a chance to have a bit of a breather. And yeah, I mean, both men warmed up and had the full 5 minute warm up after that. And of course, it was 2 sets, 2 games, and 40 each before the restart. So everything was purely evenly matched, which is good. And as I said, it's a good thing that is that it wasn't, yeah, it's just a good thing that it was all evenly matched, I guess, and no one was in the lead to break up their momentum. So they're only off court the second half of 24 minutes. So it wasn't a bad disruption. It wasn't like the first time an hour and 9 minutes. So overall, they spent 1 hour and 33 minutes off court in this final. Yeah, I mean, of course, we saw some good people in attendance. Boris Johnson was in attendance for this final, president of Real Madrid. So that saw some good stars in attendance. And after the break, a second break of rain, both men still looked very sharp as well, which was a good thing. Both men looked still doing very well. So, no disruption, of course. These two men are that professional, though. It's not really surprised it didn't affect them much. But Federer, at this point in the match, was 174, 172 on points. Like, that's crazy, bearing in mind, that just showed how close these two men really were at the time. Just to be that close, 174, 172, it was just truly brilliant stuff. It was just back and forth, like, as in, you see a lot of the best games in sport are back and forth ones, and this was certainly one of them. I mean, like, the best games in any sport are back and forth, as I said. So this was just one, you just never knew which way it was going to go, and you had both of their families in attendance watching on, and you could just see the emotion from them and the passion, so that really adds to it as well when you see that in the crowd. And of course, Nadal and Federer just, kept... It seemed that when every time they were looking to get ahead of each other, something had happened, the other one would do a great shot, or one of them would make a mistake, and that was kind of how the final was going. Like, every time, it was Nadal was just showing pure resilience, and Federer was just, being the great pro that he is, and just carrying on his game as normal. I think Nadal's resilience, though, was proper showing here. Like, the resilience, he just wouldn't give up, and no matter what happened, he just seemed calm, and he didn't let it get to him, and that was the big thing about this. And the final set was 6-6, so that was the final set. So it went down, of course, there's no tie-break in the final game at Wimbledon. It went down to someone had to win it by 2 clear points. And, they had 3 challenges each for the remainder, so this is where it got, the final happened. This was the final sequence before we were crowned a winner. It has to be a 2-game advantage at this point as well, like I just said, so... the passion at this point, you could really see it now in the crowd, that it was proper intense. It was just, amazing to watch, because no one knew what was going to happen, and it was just like what we were witnessing was crazy. And the point to get a 7-7 from Nadal was one of the best points. I'd recommend you check that one out when Nadal makes it 7-7 on points. Truly incredible. Great rally. I mean, both men were... And the crowd erupted after, but both men played some brilliant tennis. One of the best rallies I've personally ever seen. I mean, during this, actually, the had to announce no cameras were flashed. Someone was obviously being a bit naughty in the crowd, but yeah, there was no cameras in flash announcement, which was interesting as well. But it was just like, say the scenes of this bit, and it just back and forth tennis really until the end, when the winner ended up being Rafa Nadal. Federer hit the net, and that allowed Rafa Nadal to win Wimbledon for the first time in his career. Amazing. Like, this match was just pure like brilliance. And if you haven't watched this match and you are a tennis fan, I'd so highly recommend you check it out. In my opinion, Roger Federer is the greatest tennis player of all time. Just how much he's achieved and how long he's been so good for. Like, currently we're in the year 2020, and Federer is still well on top of his game. So that really does show. But Nadal, Federer, 2 very, very good tennis players. Probably my 2 favourite ever, but Novak Djokovic not far behind either. But yeah, truly brilliant tennis to watch, and I'd highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen this match checks it out as well. After the match, you could really see how much this meant to Rafa Nadal. I mean, he dropped to the floor, he was in just tears of joy. Massive contrast to the year before, when it was tears of disappointment. This year it was pure tears of joy. And yeah, just amazing. And I think the big question on everyone was this the greatest tennis match ever? Many people would say yes. There might be others that I've not necessarily seen, or other people might prefer, but it'd be very difficult to find one better than this. This is when the 2 men were well and truly on top of their game, and it really showed as well. Just, amazing scenes, amazing. So, yeah, this is my favourite tennis, and I think that it was just a joy. It was just a joy to watch. You never knew which way this was going to go. It was just, it was just one of them finals to enjoy. But yeah, that's my my rundown of the Wimbledon 2008 final. Unfortunately, Wimbledon has been cancelled this year due to the coronavirus. First time it's been off since World War II. But so yeah, hopefully Wimbledon 2021. Well, it should be back up and running by then, and then we get a good that's going to be very good. But yeah, so. Is there a tennis final better? Please let me know in the comments below, and please like, share, and subscribe. Still trying to get the channels take off. But yeah, please like, subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.